Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again for our class tonight. It is such a beautiful moment again to be back here. And tonight we're going to learn something very special, that is FL Studio, Fruity Loops Studio. That is the digital audio workstation that we're going to learn today. Remember, I told you that FL Studio is such a good and professional DAW. So tonight we shall be learning something very good that after the end of this class, after the end of FL Studio, trust me, you can go ahead and get such a decent job in one of the biggest studios I know in the country, in any other country, because by then you will be a very good producer. So without wasting time, my name is Luke Davis and I'm your instructor for tonight again. So I know this looks a little bit complicated, a little complex, but this is FL Studio. Now, if you remember, in LMMS, most of the things here look the same. Just like in LMMS, also FL Studio has got different windows. And in our main window or the main panel, we can see a lot of options. But the good thing, FL Studio is also just like LMMS. Each time you hover the mouse onto something, it writes for you the name. Like, okay, watch the mouse, the cursor. You can see this panel here. This is the panel where they always write for you the name of anything you point or you drag the cursor to. So when we hover the cursor onto here, at least you can see it has written master volume. If you come here, it has written, typing blah 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 blah. If you put it here, it also writes tempo, So actually, why am I wasting time to do this? Instead of me introducing some of these things, just go ahead by yourself. Just bring the cursor onto it. It will write for you its name into this in this panel here. So maybe for those ones who may not understand or may want to save their time from the hassle of doing all that, basically these are the controls. And each and every window that we open shall have its major controls. Mostly these ones here, these controls you're seeing, they are on each and every window. For example, if we open a window, for example, this one, now this is in LMMS, this would be the song editor, something like that. But here in FL Studio, we call it the view playlist. Now here, it's the piano roll. This is the piano roll. Even in LMMS, it's still the piano roll. And this one here, it's the channel rack. In LMMS, we call it the beat stroke bassline editor. And this is the controller, or the mixer. It's still the same. This one here is the plugin picker or plugin browser. And this one here is the plugin picker or an open project window, a window where you can access those projects. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you realize there is no big difference between FL Studio and LMMS. So it is not going to be hard. I want to show you this is going to be a very interesting class, and as I can tell you, this is very, very nice. So let us go ahead and introduce some of the major things that we have here. Now, when we come back here, up here we have files. When we click on files, we have several options. But now, let's assume all of us are opening our FL Studio for the first time. So this is what will happen. You'll have something you'll have something appearing like this, but don't let it confuse you. It is okay. Now, onto file, it gives you options to open a new project, or you can open it from a template. Some of us, we don't have a lot of time to do something, so we just want to get some template and we edit but that's not good. I would prefer you do all your work by yourself. Okay, now we have the option to open. If I told you I'd saved some projects, now we have the option to save. The same way you save in LMMS is the same way we shall be saving here. So I'm not going to talk about it again. To export, to import, we already talked about this. Now here it displays the recent projects. Now these are some of the recent projects I've worked on. The one I've just played is this very one. I've done a lot of projects, a couple of projects. These are projects of yesterday. I was doing them, so it lists them there. Okay, and so let us just skip that and go to edit. When we go to edit, it has those things of undo, cut, copy, paste. You guys already know what it does. I'm not going to say. add. Now we can go ahead and add some other things like plugins. We can add controllers and drums and what. All those options are under add, and we shall introduce them. Remember, I said this is really professional, so I am going to try as much as possible to go as slow as possible and make sure everyone understands, so that by the end of this class we are all senior producers. Yeah, I'm just excited today. Anyway, on to patterns. Okay, before I talk about that, let me show you. These are what we call this small window here. It shows patterns. Now, if you remember, in LMS we also had patterns where we were calling it tracks or whatever it is. So the word pattern or track, it's still the same. Just take it for now. So here we have pattern 1. So you can have pattern 1 or track 1. Pattern 1 will be containing track 1. Okay? Pattern 2 will contain track 2, like that. So you can have one pattern or one track for the melody or an instrument of the melody. For example, if you're having a song like the one I was playing, okay, it's taking a little longer than I expected to open, but anyway, don't worry. So I was trying to explain patterns and so on and so forth. So if you have, now as you can see, now this one was written, in the other one it was written pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 3. Now you can rename. After renaming, that's what happens. You can see pattern 5. I did not rename pattern 5. So you see pattern 5 is corresponding to track 5. So pattern 5, according to me, it is this sound. Okay, this is my pattern 5. So you realize that is pattern 5. It is just one instrument. Now this is pattern 4. Okay, yeah, so that is pattern 4. So you can have one pattern having one instrument, or you can have one pattern having many instruments. For example, here, okay, so it is one pattern, but there are very many instruments. For example, if I'm to open this pattern very well, that is under drums, the drum pattern. If I open for you, you can see the number of instruments that are inside. There is the GRV kick 13, there is GRV clap 03, there is reggae C3, you know. So all these instruments are in one pattern or one track. So remember, you can use one pattern for one instrument or one pattern for many instruments, but I would advise, if possible, when it comes to melody, use one pattern or one track for one instrument when it comes to melody, so that you can easily edit. You know, those editing in the piano roll, if there are very many instruments at once, you know, editing becomes so hard for you. So just do that. But maybe for drums, you know, those percussions, you can put them in the same track if you like. If it's a simple beat, you can just put them. But if it's complicated, still you can use 2 or 3 or 4 patterns or tracks. So let us go ahead. That was under patterns. So now when we come to patterns, now we can have patterns for acoustic, for drums, blah 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 blah, all these ones. We can find a pattern which is empty, and we find the next empty, and we put our things like that. But FL Studio is designed to create a pattern. Each and every time you say create a pattern, it will create the next empty one. It will not skip one and go to another one. No, it will create on the next empty one. Now that one is the patterns. Then we come to the view option. You can use this to view all these other windows, all these other icons we are seeing. We can come to the view option. If something has disappeared, or maybe it looks like it has disappeared, for example, if this has disappeared, you can just come to view and you say, what are you looking for? I'm looking for a channel rack. Then it will bring for you what had disappeared. So that is it. Options, you people, I don't know why I'm even explaining this. Yet I'm going to explain again when we come to the time we shall need to use them. So let us just skip that. Here as you can see, this cursor icon here, it's the master volume. This is the volume that you will listen to. This is not the volume of the song, please. This is the volume of the output. For example, let me play this. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and reduce. I will just click and drag it in the anti-clockwise direction. So I believe now you've realized how the volume has reduced. Now this is not the volume of the song. This is not the volume of the output. This is the volume. Sorry, this is not the volume of the song. It's the volume of the output. What you're going to hear, that's the volume. Okay. Yeah. So let me just keep the volume as low as that. Now we have this oval here, this oval thing here. Let me start from this side. Now this one, people, you already know the symbols. This one is the stop. This one is the pause or play. Now this one here, it is divided into two. There is one which is written PAT, then one which is written song. PAT means when you select PAT and you click play, it will play the pattern which is selected. For example, let me select the pattern of acoustic. So and I play. When it's PAT selected, it will only play the acoustic. You see? Sorry, you listen to that? So I'm playing only the acoustic. Now if I click song and I say play, it will play the entire song. So that is how it is. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us continue. Now, those ones with the recording equipments. Now, I said in LMS it does not support recording, but here in FL Studio, when you want to record, you use this tool, this red button. So we just come and click record and we shall go ahead and record, but I will explain more when we come to that part. Now also in FL Studio we also have the tempo box, so we can also adjust the tempo from here. In LMS it could give you the option of double clicking and you write locally or manually, but here what you have to do, just bring the cursor onto it and scroll. Okay, so now you see. Now when you bring the cursor up here, it will scroll the ones you've selected. If you bring it this side, it will scroll those micro readings. So my tempo, let me keep my tempo at 90. Where am I taking it? Good, at 90.00. What is this one doing? I want 90.00. Okay, now that is it. Now this one here is what we call the metronome. Metronome. Metronome is how do I explain this? You know, like those guys when you were young, maybe in primary, those ones who went through PE, when you're singing, the teacher first brings the beats, you know, starts clapping the hand. Okay, 1, 2, 3, we are going to sing, then they clap the hand to guide you on the speed of the beat, you know, even if you're not playing something, but they're just trying to guide you on the tempo. So this is what it does. So I'm going to just do that. Select it. If you select it and you click play, you're hearing that sound of ta, ta, ta. Now that is the metronome. Its work is to guide you. For example, if you're recording a song and you don't want to play any instrument, you just want to listen to, you want to sing freely, you would just go ahead and select that one. Now next one here we have what we call this one. When you're going to use a MIDI piano or MIDI keyboard, you just go ahead and connect the MIDI keyboard to your computer, then you click here, so that when you're playing on the keyboard, the chords you're playing will come and write itself here. Okay, the chords or the song you're playing on the piano, it will write itself. Now if you are just starting, or maybe your MIDI keyboard has got a problem and you can't play, you can still write the chords. For example, you guys, I've made very many songs and I've gotten a lot of money from them, but I have a MIDI keyboard. Yes, I have a MIDI controller, but I rarely use it because it's boring, you know, to play. But if you come and write the chords by yourself, it is better. So if you don't have the MIDI keyboard, don't worry, you can still make songs. So all you have to do, go to the piano roll, then you write the chords. It's just a matter of clicking. That is how you write. Okay, so we're going to reach there, don't worry. Next here is the blending recording or blended recording. For example, you want to record while you're playing the keyboard at the same time. You know, you guys already understand that English, so let me not go so far, but that is it. We shall reach there. Loop recording, like we keep recording the same part. For example, if you have a MIDI controller and you want to just play the keyboard for 2 seconds, then it keeps repeating itself. Now the ones you've played, now we shall go ahead and select that one. And here it's the song position. It's like the overall time of the song, the position, song position. It's the duration. Let me just use the word duration. We shall explain that later on. So basically, I've introduced these ones up here, and I hope you are enjoying this class. So let us continue. Let's go ahead and and do more and more. Now, this is the master pitch. If you want to change the pitch of the song, we shall come and correct the pitch from here. People, I believe, at this time you really understand what the pitch is, so I'm just going to skip that. But if you want to change the pitch, so let me just give an example. Let me play the old song. Okay, let me play one pattern. Which pattern? Let me play acoustic here. Okay, let me adjust the pitch here. Now, people who play the piano, you understand this. You maybe you're in church and you're playing your instruments very well, and then there's this choir mistress or choir, this singer comes up and the voice is really strange. You adjust the pitch. In other words, the soft the what is pitch again? I've forgotten my SST of P7. But anyway, you can adjust the pitch of the overall instrument from here. Remember, this is the master pitch, so for everything. Now, this is the song position, is what I was trying to explain here. Still, it's the same thing. And this one is our keyboard. If you want to type our keyboard, if we select it here, like if it's selected, it means our keyboard, we're just typing it. We are not playing it, we're just typing it. We can use the keyboard of the laptop or the computer. You understand? I mean, that typing, that input device, you can use it to play. But it's a little bit more complicated because you need to understand which key on the piano is G, is the letter T, Y, those things, because they represent different notes. So it is a little bit hard. I wouldn't advise you. Why don't you just come and write on your song editor, sorry, on the piano roll rather. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let us continue. And here we have the scroll to reach time markers. For example, if you have created time markers, like this one is a time marker, and you want to just scroll up to where you have created. If you are playing, if you want to scroll it, just click there. It will just scroll itself up to the time marker. These are some of the things which are not even very important. Why am I even wasting time? So let us skip these ones. They are not important for now. Step editing mode, enable note clipping ground, multi-link to controllers. Some of the things we're going to introduce them. Let me just come up to here. Now this one is important. This one is very important. You can see here it's written 1. Now this one is for patterns. Okay, it shows patterns. This one shows patterns. So here it's written 1, so means it is pattern 1 which is selected. If we select pattern 2, it here reads 2. And if we drag the cursor here, you can see our window here, this int panel. If we select 2 and we come inside here, it shows drums. So it means pattern 2, which is for drums, is the one which has been selected. Now here you're seeing the symbol plus. For example, if you want to add another pattern, you just come and click plus. It will automatically go to the next empty panel, which is the 6. So it brings you this window of you writing. Do you want to rename it or not? So let me just rename it and call it, I don't know. Let me just call it Xylo. Okay, assuming I have a xylophone. Now here, this one here, you can use it to change the color of the pattern so that you can easily, in case you're too busy that you don't want to even read the name of the pattern, you can just look at the color. So you can click here, it brings you different colors. Then you choose one color. For example, I can choose this one here, so that will be the color of the panel. Then you can use this tick, click on it, and it will automatically come here. Now you realize this panel has added itself, but here track 6 is still empty because I've not added something or anything onto it, but the panel has been created. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that is it. So let us go to this other window here. Now the first one here is what we call the view playlist. The view playlist is what you're seeing right now. If I click on it, it will disappear, means I've unselected. So by default, FL Studio might look empty like this, but if you click on the view playlist, it will bring this one. In LMMS, we call it the song editor. Okay, so now you understand the relationship between the two. Now the next window is what we call the piano roll. Okay, it's also in LMMS. You can drag it and take it anywhere. You can close it. And the next one is what we call the what? The channel rack. Remember we said in LMMS, channel rack is the same as the beat or baseline, the beats plus baseline editor. So you can see, you remember those steps in the LMMS, they're also here in FL Studio. So those ones who didn't attend our class of LMMS, I believe it's going to be hard for you to follow, because I'm teaching a special group of students who have been following from the beginning. Anyway, just bear with us for now. So ladies and gentlemen, let us proceed. Now, if you're opening FL Studio for the first time, all these windows are attached. They're all attached to the main window, but you can detach it. Detaching means you can be able to move it from one place to another. So if you want to detach, for example, this particular one, if you want to detach, you come to its corner here, and you see this drop down arrow, this drop down icon, click on it. Then the last option says detached. When you click on it, it will be detached. Means you can move it anywhere you want, in any way you want. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the meaning of it being detached. You can see once you have detached it, you can resize it. You can resize it. You can take it anywhere you want, like that, like that. That is when it is detached. When it's detached. So when you have just opened, all of them will be attached. So I would prefer this one here. I like it because it's my major panel, so I always want it to be attached. I just do this, so this one be attached. Then the rest I will detach it. So the next one, which is the piano roll, I can make it detached. I still go to this drop down key, say detached, like that, and you can go ahead and do it for the channel rack, which we said is the same as the beta plus baseline editor in LMMS. We can also do it for the rests. Even this one here, we can also detach it. Okay, we can detach it, and here, detached. It's already detached. So it's up to you if you want it detached. If it's detached, means you can move it anywhere. You can place it here. You can take it here. If it's not detached, it will be in its position. Okay. So the rest of the things I will introduce to you later on. Now let us come back. Okay, let me detach this one because it may confuse. People may think actually it's the same thing. So let me do this. So let me put this one here. Now that I've detached, realize I've explained all these things here because they are all part of the main windows or the main panel. Okay, these ones, they're part of the song editor. In LMS we said it's a song editor, but here we said we call it the view playlist. I don't know why the name is always disturbing me. Using different softwares at the same time, it can cause a confusion, but it's okay. Let's continue. Now here in this window here, we have some other things, just like in LMMS Studio or Linux Multimedia Studio. The first one here is it shows for all, okay, all the functions, all of them. Then here it shows for current project. When we click, it will show current project. Then here it's for plugins, okay, or database. So the first one, when you click the first one here, ladies and gentlemen, this arrow should not confuse you. This is to collapse it. This is to reread the structure. This is to browse. You know the symbols. These are drop comment. Some of the things you can even check it by yourself. Please don't let me talk about everything. Okay. Thank you. Now here, current project. When you click on it, it will open the current project. Things about the current project, like the history of the current project, the patterns of the current project, and so on and so forth. Remember, you can click on it. It opens. You click on it again, it will close. Recent files, plugin database. Yeah, all these things you can do it. Now, some of you are not seeing some of these things in your FL Studio, like these 3 reggae drum kits. Now, these are my samples that I've added. So I'm going to teach you how you can add also, because FL Studio comes maybe with limited instruments, but if you want to add more, for example, let me show you. When you come to packs here, this is packs. These are instruments that comes with FL Studio. We have the drums, the modded audio drums, the flex, the instruments, and so on. So when we open drums, so we have these types of drums. So I'm going to specifically choose kicks. Now, these are the kicks we have. By default, the one that comes with FL Studio and the ones you have there. Let me first increase my volume because maybe you're not hearing well. So you see, they're not so good, but you can go ahead and download more. For example, I downloaded here, like I have reggae drum kits, and see the ones I downloaded. See, now that one is not there. I think maybe you don't have it in yours. So this one, I am a person of reggae. That's why I normally try my best to get. But you can also get for yourself on the gene that you want. I can share with you in the group so that you can also add to your FL Studio. Decide to make your FL Studio so resourceful that you can get all these equipments once you need them. So now, you see? So some of these things are not in the other one. Like this one here. People who do reggae, you understand. Okay? So anyway, what I was trying to say is FL Studio gives you the opportunity to import some of these samples and instruments and as plugins. You can import them and use it on FL Studio. Some of these plugins, they are for payment. You can pay some money and get. Unfortunately, I will not provide you with it because I use the free ones. But if you need the free ones, I can also give you the free ones for free. But the ones that requires payments, unfortunately, I don't have. You can see I also have this one for guitar. I have it. You see? So it might not. You may not have it by default in your FL Studio. So in this panel here, we have different things. So just go ahead and follow. Okay. Now, if you want to make a track, okay. If you want to make a track, or you may need this instrument. So where do you get these instruments? Assuming you do not have plugins that you've installed by yourself, you've just opened FL Studio for the first time, please go to Packs. In this window, please open Packs. Upon opening Packs, you will see drums. All these ones are the things you can use. Okay, you can use them on your song, on the beat that you're going to make. I believe I have introduced almost everything. Now, these are the things we have talked about. If there's something I've not talked about on the current window that you're seeing, it means it's not important for now. But for now, I've talked about everything. So when we come back after this short break, we shall be talking about two windows here. We shall talk about, I think we should, what do we start with? Let us start with the channel racks, which is the same as the beat or baseline. And together we shall also look at the view playlist. We shall look at these two windows together because we use them concurrently. In LMMS, it's the song editor and the beat or baseline channel or editor. So we shall be looking at these two here. So ladies and gentlemen, it has been so nice having you in this first part of the class. Let us take a short break and we get back in the next video, and we shall be talking about how we can go ahead and make our first beat with FL Studio. God bless you and have a good